Hello, hello. It's me, Jessica Lee. How are you guys today? It's Thursday, April 2nd. So the first Thursday of the month. And so far so good, right? I've done 3 of these. Let's see if I can keep the momentum going and touch base with who is here real quick. I'm seeing Melanie at 4:30 this morning. I don't know how that happens. I always thought the chats opened 30 minutes prior. And then we got Lisa and Deb and Jim and Mona. So hello and thank you for joining me. Real quickly, before I get into my topic of the day, which is emotional shopping, um, retail therapy. I did want to show the finished UFO. I know last month I pulled a completely different box, right? The green half square triangle recovery quilt. Well, never touched it. I closed the box that day and never got back to it. So instead, we have Jelly Roll Rail Fence. I believe it was a free pattern. It showed it in 2 different sizes, 1 jelly roll or 2. I did use 2. I had a undersea nautical themed type of jelly roll. And then I had a blenders jelly roll. And the colors of them both were very complementary to each other. Hi, Melanie. And hi, Sheila. Um, and so I was able to mix them and play with them. You can't see the full quilt, but it does go from super light to super dark. Um, Hi, guess who, Nancy? How are you today? And so I did want to show, I had a finish from last month. It was just a different finish than originally planned, and that is okay. I was able to accomplish that at a quilt retreat that I attended in Crooked River State Park down in Kingsland, St. Mary's, Georgia, near the Navy base. Hi, Kathy. How are you today? Thanks for joining. So today's topic, y'all. I wrote emotional shopping, which I guess, maybe proper English is not my thing. Hi, Rip It and So Mona. How are you? When I searched it, it actually says, well, that's retail therapy. So that's okay. Um, if you've been with me, right, you know that I had set some 2026 goals of being mindful and determined and intentional and using my stash. And I made it until March, you guys. That's an accomplishment, right? We're going to say I made it like 75 days into the new year. Fully gung ho. Um, and saved and was using stash and whatnot, and then I lost my SEWJO, and then went to the quote retreat. I did do quite a bit there, but I haven't done anything at home. I'll be honest, I have not done anything here. So emotional shopping, or known as retail therapy. Purchasing items to manage emotions like stress, boredom, or sadness rather than out of necessity. Roughly 69% of Americans admit to this, which provides a temporary dopamine boost, but often leads to financial stress and or guilt. I don't feel guilty over it though. It is characterized by impulse buying behaviors. So key aspects of emotional shopping, right? We have common triggers: stress, anxiety, boredom, loneliness, and feelings of insecurity. In my case, it was stress. It was loss of creativity, and it was emotional. I've had a rough couple of weeks in my work world, right? In my personal, that yeah, emotional shopping. That's why I called it emotional shopping. I didn't call it retail therapy. Um And then it says, so common items could also be emotional food, common items could be food, clothing, personal care, et cetera, et cetera. I also suffer from emotional eating. And I also suffer from emotional cleaning. And I know that sounds really weird, but if I am like stressed out, or if I'm crying, or if who knows, but I will clean. And I'll get like fixated on certain things. So it's amazing to me that in the quilting world, right, our emotions can play such a high factor or impact. Um, and so I get to show off things today. I'm gonna move the iPad out of the way. And I'm trying something new. I'm trying not to read the comments off the cell phone. I'm trying to read the comments off of the StreamYard screen. So we'll see how that goes today. So I hope I can see everybody's. I don't know if it's set to top or all, or it's just telling me regular or small. It's not actually saying like in the YouTube chat where you could do top or all. So let's see. Did Nightbot get you, Mona? I have no idea. I do have two mods though that might be able to help, because for me to talk and focus on a camera, I have not learned how to multitask with the chats yet. So I do apologize for that. Let's see. So, and I'm going to try another new thing today. I uploaded images because I couldn't upload a second camera because it said I would need to be on a different plan. I'm on the free plan. But that way I can talk through some of the things I bought by putting the picture on the screen. So let's all cross our fingers that that goes well. It's going to be trial and error for sure. Melanie says, I do that. If I'm mad, I'll clean. I just got done earlier so that I could sew and quilt. Yes. And then Mona from Rip It and Sew is saying, I absolutely love your transparency. Thank you. Got to just, when I met my current partner, um, I had said something out loud that it's like, it, this is me. What you see is what you get, right? I'm not pretending. I'm not going to fake anything. I'm not going to try to be someone that I think you want me to be, because it is so much effort and work to try to be something that you're not. And kind of like saying the truth or lying, right? Once you lie, then you got to keep the story going. It's just easier to tell the truth. So in me being transparent, um, it's just much easier to be myself. And if you don't like it, or if you do, well, then you can choose to be a part of my little world. So thank you on that. I do appreciate you. Mine is getting mad. It puts me in the cleaning. My husband would make me mad just so I would. Well, if they learn the system, then that's no. That's not okay. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you. Okay, you guys. So for the fun stuff, right? So I've been collecting, well, I've been gathering and collecting vintage sewing machines, but not as a personal purchase. I've been doing it for a future classroom that I will be having. Well, in the process of that, I needed to find a vintage repairman. And I found one that works with a quilt shop about an hour south of me. So when I went to go pick up one of the machines from being serviced, hi Joe, how are you? Thanks for listening in. I do that often while I drive. It is perfectly fine. Um, it was after the retreat, it was still no SEWJO. I still hadn't gotten the room done, and I'm just like aimlessly walking around her store and just started gathering. And it was almost like I had no control over it, right? I was like, "Ooh, that's on sale," or "Oh, that's cute," or "Hey, there's only 2 of those left." And started grabbing and yeah. So We all know how that goes. And so up first, and we're going to see if this works, okay? Let's try it. Up first is some pre-printed zippy pouch bag panels. Minky Kim, she's so fun. I enjoy her content. I enjoy her work. And so this one is Serendipity 2. There are 2 of pictures that are going to show for this. And I ended up buying 2 panels. They were the last. The owner did try to reorder them and she couldn't get them in. Hi, Brian. Thanks for joining in. I got a small, quick little show and tell of my current purchases while I was emotionally shopping. So these, I've never seen them in person. And so when I saw them, and they just reminded me of my childhood, right? Like, look at the cute prints and then the cats. And then it's just, and she has a YouTube, and you could totally look at, you can even scan the fabric. It has QR codes on it. So that is one panel that I bought 2 of. And then up next is another one by her, Sunset Ridge. These look to be a little different. These might be bigger pouches or bags with handles. Aren't they cute, Mona? Oh my goodness. The images just, yeah. So this one, and you'll see here, it has like little scissors and the roses are just delicate. Super excited. I ended up buying 2 of those. And then up next is Memories pouch panel, and you'll even see that QR code up in the top. I mean, how genius is that to not, you put it on the fabric and we just, we could watch it in the car while we're waiting at an appointment. And so this one, you'll see I have 2. So look up here. I don't know if you guys can see my arrow from my computer or not. The images in those circles, the No Place Like Home, and then the happiness is quietly sewing. And then the images of like the little scissors hanging on the shelf, they're so cute. Right, Sheila? The Minky Kim stuff is just, it's so fun. And then I was on the hunt, and when I saw this, my first thought was I needed to find a pug for Deb. But there was no pug on this panel. I have fun using larger panel prints like this, where there's 6-inch squares, 8-inch squares, and putting those into places that require focal fabric. So on a 3-yard quilt or on a Villa Rosa or something. And so I did have fun picking this one out. And, but like I said, my first thought was I need to look and see if it has a pug so I could send the pugs to Deb, but it did not. And this one, coming up, they were mask panels, y'all, when we were all making masks. And these are not, I would say, child friendly. So I do have older male children. And my brain instantly went to them when I saw these. And the owner had asked, what are you going to do with these? And I'm like, I'm going to use them as focal fabric. I'm going to use them in place of where something is calling for like a 4x6 rectangle or whatnot. So up here, you'll see the mustache with the pipe and the vampire teeth, right? And then we have, thanks, Sheila. They are fun. And then this is another half of it. And so you got the shark mouth and you have the shush. I think even one of them is smoking a cigarette. But to me, right, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I could totally make something for the boys. And they would get it, right? I wouldn't have to think of, oh, I don't know what fabrics to use or whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and make some room because it would not let me upload all of them because it said I had too many, you guys. So again, while walking around and shopping and picking these out, right, I had other people in mind. I had other thought processes going. It wasn't necessarily that I was shopping for me. I think that the zippy pouches would just be cute as just gifts, even if someone's birthday's coming or, a shower, a wedding shower of some sort. But up next, y'all cannot judge me. I absolutely adore K Fawcett Collective. Brandon, Philip is my favorite when looking through my stash. His are the ones that I buy yardage of. But this one is a cave print, and this one has stared at me for a very long time at work. And when we were closing and we were having our final sales, and I was doing the counts for the sell offs to other businesses to come purchase, I couldn't let this one go anywhere else but home with me. So you will see here, it is fish. I like to say that it's like mosaic tile scene fish. They're tossed and they're turned and they're purple and they're green and they're gold and they are funky. And I absolutely love it. I bought yards and yards. I brought the bolt home. Um, I'm taking a class to do a jelly roll sweatshirt into a jacket type of class. And it doesn't call for a liner, but I know that I could put a liner. And so I'm going to use the fish, I think, as the liner of that class, and then just use a CAFE coordinating jelly roll of some sort. Isn't that fun, Jim? You want me to send you some? I can share. Trust me. I have a lot if anybody would like some. Hi, Katie Crafts. How are you today? And so bear with me. I'm going to figure out how to upload more images while I have you guys talking. Because like I said, I ran out of slots. So the last one we did was those masks. And see, I can learn to multitask on here, hopefully. And then, and I didn't even, I guess, realize that I could do this on this StreamYard, but after watching Cheeky Quilters, and I realized, well, how's she doing that? I had to figure out how to do it. Okay, so this one is cute little squares. I'm not the biggest gnome fan. I will admit that. They are not my go-to purchase. But these are maybe 3.5-inch squares, and they're repeated. They remind me of memory cards or right, the memory game. And I used to do that a lot for children's items at craft shows. So with this being on like a massive clearance rack and like the end of the bolt, I could not pass it up. I had to come home with some. Um, Again, I see the memory game cards, but then I'm also seeing where I could fit it into a quilt in place of the focal fabrics, as long as it's calling for a square of the same size. Aren't they fun? So Brian is saying he likes it, and Sheila, yes, no niece. And then last but not least, school is rounding up. We got roughly 6 weeks, I think, left. My son does have 3 main teachers. He has his homeroom for 3 subjects, and then he has a teacher across the hall for 3 subjects. And then he is also in a dual taught class for both of those, and so he has a spec ed teacher with him. And so he has 3 main teachers. The owl gnome is my favorite. Okay, where is it? The owl gnome. Up here? The owl with the gnome? I could totally send you some too, Brian. There's lots of it. And so for the 3 teachers, this panel caught my eye because of the school theme. And I was just like, "Well, what is it? Is it, a pillow panel or is it just squares?" Well, it turned out the shop had a sample. It is a full-blown um, teacher gift panel. It turns into a composition notebook cover. It turns into a zippy pouch. It turns into, I think, a tissue holder or key fob or something of some sort. And then it also turns into a cloth basket that holds all of those. And so I couldn't pass it up. It was on the clearance rack. She had a sample and it comes with all the instructions. And so I'm really hoping that it'll help me get back into some sort of groove um with sewing, possibly. So that went fairly well. Hopefully it didn't make anybody sick by changing the screens. But new accomplishment unlocked. I was able to flip through photos while talking, you guys. Okay. I'm going to also remove those just so I don't forget. So, do you guys emotionally shop? Do you use retail therapy? Do you find, so I had a couple respond with the emotional cleaning. Um, I mean, 96% of Americans admit to it. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, those of you that are here in live with me, d- do you emotionally shop? I guess you don't have to say if you don't. But there's more, you guys. There's more. So at the same shop, with the vintage repairman helper services. Yes, Brian. He says, I emotionally shop, especially around the holidays. It's valid, right? Guess who Nancy is waving her hand? Yes, and Katie Crafts, retail therapy. Oh yeah. Katie is saying though it would be better if she emotionally cleaned. I mean, have you ever done like angry dishes? I do that. Or, frustration scrubbing. Who scrubs kitchen cabinets by choice? I do it emotionally. Okay. So at the same shop, because of the vintage repair, I was able to pick up some just notions for my machines, right? A soft brush that I can dedicate to the vintage repair machines cleanings or the vintage cleanings. Katie is saying the dopamine of shopping and of getting a package delivered. Yep. Yep. 66 bobbins, right? Class 66, because the machines I'm picking up are Singer 99s. My lighting, y'all, there's like a shadow over here. I do apologize. Next time I'm going to have to open up that window more. And then an easy oiler, because, don't want to sit here and make a big greasy oily mess while servicing those. So let's see. Okay. I went to a place probably about 2 hours away. It's up on a different interstate. They are Meta Mercantile. They are a curated shop. It has different booths from different vendors, but they are converting into a quilt shop. So it's like half and half right now, and it's all mixed and intertwined, and it's just really fun. They are also handy quilter long arm dealers. And I went up for the first time. I've talked to them over the phone. I've sold them some stuff from work, some of the fixtures and everything. Um, and I finally got up to their shop. Didn't come home with any fabrics, but I forgot it in the living room. I collect vintage candy dishes. But they need to be like different and unique and have lids. And I did find a depression glass, a pink depression glass bottom dome scoop with the dome lid, and totally forgot it in the living room. But my son was with me, and I love Disney. You know, I love Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and Pocahontas. I love Disney. So my son was with me, and he found Chip. Do y'all know who Chip is? Chip from Beauty and the Beast, the cute little chipped teacup. He did not have Mrs. Potts with him. He was a broken set. So he found me Chip, and the the store's owners were like, "But there's two more." And I was like, "I don't need the other two." But it was free. And so they gave me the other two, which are not Chip. They're just tilted, fun, dancing little teacups. So what I'm going to do is actually turn them into pincushions and gift it back to the owners because I don't need three, but I do need Chip. He's just, he's just, he makes me smile. Um, and then I totally scored. So I love Carolina, no, Carolina Moore. It's not Carolina like South Carolina. So it's Carolina Moore, and she's YouTube, and she's a notions designer, and she has her glow ruler, and she's got all kinds of stuff. Um, I believe that's hers, the water pen for paper piecing, right? She creates things. That's what she does. She's also a Baby Lock ambassador. But they had her mini boxed bag template. And I have never seen any of her boxed bags templates in person. So I had to grab it while I was there. I'm super excited. She has videos for it. That was just a find that I had to come home with. And then I'm a super huge fan of these, but I've never actually bought them. The BQ patterns, where they always have kind of like that, fun framed grid in the back. So that's BQ, BQ2, and then BQ4. And super ecstatic that I found those there, because I have always, that is not the same as Purple Hobby, is it? Which one, Kathy? The boxed bag template? Let's see. I know there's a slight delay, so I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I know I watch. Okay, nope. She is a standalone. She's not the Purple Hobby. She is a standalone notions creator, pattern writer, YouTuber. She has her own, I think, block of the months for the years. She is strictly a Baby Lock user and an A Art Gallery fabric sewist. So she would not be Purple Hobby. Let's see. We're rounding up here, okay? So, yes, my emotions got high, right? Yes, I got excited. Yes, I was just like, okay, I have to have that because it triggered what I could do now to start sewing again, right? And we're actually going to open this because I don't want the glare. Somebody's going to have to remind me to open that window next month because it would give me light over there. So this one, again, I'm a Disney fan. And I'm a huge, I guess, musicals, right? Like, how can you not like Sound of Music and Mary Poppins and and I will sing to you if we are watching them. I will sing through every single one of these movies. So nobody ever watches them with me. But I ran across a spoonful of sugar fabric collection. Um, and it's Mary Poppins themed. It is from Sew a Story. It is a layer cake, and it is just adorable. And me and the employee, I was like, I have to find a penguin first before I buy this because if the penguins aren't there, um, isn't it it's so fun. But lo and behold, there is a penguin. Um, and so here's them all. Let's see. There's plaids, there's florals, there's text, there's kites. It's just, you guys, I had to. And again, right, when we think about it, we're emotionally shopping. I was emotionally shopping. I was looking for something that was going to bring me joy and not only get that high, but it brought back the movie. It brought back the joy that the movie brings to me. Not only just the fabric, but now I'm singing, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in my head as, I'm headed home that day. And so what's going to be fun, and I cannot get it back in the bag, so we're not going to. What excited me, I think, the most was as soon as I saw it, it triggered Corey Yoder's Coriander Quilts on YouTube. Her border of the month for this year, which uses a layer cake. And I was like, well, I found the layer cake. She's giving us free patterns. She didn't start in January. She started now, right? The third Saturday of March. This would just be perfect to try to get me back into the sewing room. Yes, you had to buy it. It will make me smile every time I see it. It will. And that's why I'm like, and if I can mix it with a free pattern, right? A free border of the month, not block of the month. Um, and it's something that I'm not late on. And it's something that's on, I think she said 7 months. And it's going to be a square quilt, which Jessica loves square quilts. And and it'll be mine and it'll be all for me. And so I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar or if you watch Coriander Quilts, but absolutely love her Saturday shows. Um her blogs, she's very detailed. She has schedules and tutorials and cutout sheets, and she's like full blown, this is how you cut that layer cake. And so, if you haven't heard or if you're interested, I totally recommend going over there and checking out her YouTube. So, in the end, was I happy? Right? Yes. Do I now have things that are different and interesting to me? Yes, right? Those panels, those bag panels are different. Shopping for something that could be a gift for the teachers. I'm like, sold. I don't have to go find, teacher baskets or go to the market and try to find somebody else that's handcrafted gifts. Katie says she loves her show and her fabrics and I know, right? Her fabrics are to die for. I kind of hoard them. Hi, Melissa. How are you? I do kind of hoard my coriander. I have used some. I finished her jelly roll block of the month a couple years back, 2023. But I have Beautiful Day and Canning Day and all those. I need to use them. Melanie, I can take notes, but there is no telling where they will end up. So Sheila, I was teasing that I needed a note a reminder that I needed to open the window. Let's see. Katie says Tasha Quilts is doing a 15 minutes of sewing each day in April, and you're joining her. See, but then I would already be 2 days behind because I didn't sew yesterday or today. But I think that that's fantastic. I have a half-finished, beautiful day quilt. Yes, and isn't it just so pretty, Melissa? It's almost like, but it likes to sit there in the bin. I think I even have like the acorn and ash box kit with the barns, the houses with the barns made with the panels. It's just, yeah. Um, but so in the end, when I think of, retail therapy or emotional shopping, I don't know, is it supposed to be like a one day, yay? Or, a week later, am I supposed to still be fulfilled and pleased? Um, I can admit, right? I've been to therapy. I probably still need therapy. I've tried over the years to wrongly self-medicate, with drinking. And so I don't do that anymore. Um, but then there's a financial side too. You don't ever want to emotionally shop if then that means you can't afford groceries down at the end of the week, right? We have to be kind of mindful and careful on that. But I am, now that we are in April and now that all these purchases are done for March, I do have to get back into my mindful, intentional, and deliberate, determined, mindful, intentional, and determined mindset because I am currently without a job. That was part of the whole emotional, I think, stressful, oh, right? I don't know how much of a vlog I want this to become, and I think that's, has to do with the name change because I wasn't sewing on the bluff. It's just me, Jessica Lee. So I am currently without a job. And so then that's going to hinder extra spending money. It does a toll on our every day, right? I used to get up and I used to commute an hour and a half and spend the day with others and engage and get creative ideas and, you know, get my Starbucks. And now I'm not. And I've already had someone ask, hey, how does it feel not to be working? I don't know yet. It's not going to kick in this soon. I did get called in this past Monday, and so Monday was my last day up there. And we're now on Thursday, so it's only day 3, but it's also spring break. And so I do have a kiddo home. And so we're engaging, right? And we have things that we need to do, and we're going out of state tomorrow. And so it's, again, I don't know if it solved anything. You know what, Sheila? You're so silly. She's saying you could start an OnlyFans sewing in the buff. Y'all, nobody wants to see this. Trust me. Uh, we can look good from here up, and that's about it. Because you're just gonna have to deal with my butt chin. But from here down is not pretty. So silly. Let's see. I missed stuff. Hold on. I have to backtrack. Let's see, Katie. Okay, then 15 minutes a day for the rest of the month. Even planning a quilt counts. Well, you know what? That's very true, Katie. I do need some form of scheduling in my life. Sheila's saying, I know, and it would be like me to find the note in 5 months and remind Jessica to open the window then. But that's okay. At least you remind. I'm an alarm setter and a calendar user in paper and on digital. And so I would actually go ahead now and put a timer or some sort of reminder when going live on Thursday to open the window. I'll do it. Let's see. You worked crazy hours and shutting down the shop is stressful and it's depressing. It is. I can backtrack a little. I don't know if anyone in my personal life watches this. So we made the announcement to our employees February, mid-February. So we knew that we would be closing sometime near the end of March. I had 2 put in their 2 weeks notices so that they would not be coming in after March 1st. I had 1 who was supposed to, but then had a medical emergency. So she was unable to work for March. And then I had 1 who did stay, I believe, all the way through the 19th because she had already put in for time off. Our final day was the 21st. So not only was I my shop manager, right? Not only was I hands-on for my boss who couldn't be in the building a lot of the times due to medical reasons. I was then also all the employees. um, so it was hard, and I was lucky enough. I hired my daughter for daytime hours only. She does work an afternoon night job, and something is popping up telling me to add effects using my hand gestures. I must be doing something funny on live. Okay. I don't want to activate any of those yet. I was able to hire my daughter during daytime hours, so 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then my mother came up from Florida and she worked for free. She was these both of them were cutters only. I couldn't train them on the register with such a short time frame. But so my mom did come up and then she left for a couple of appointments and then she came back. And so the last 3 days, I think. And then the owner's daughter came and she worked 2 full days to close down with us that Friday and Saturday. And it was like all hands on deck. So I had 3 cutters and then me at the register. And then that was our last retail day, Saturday the 21st. And then the following week, I was in an empty shop. Well, I was in a closed shop, um, counting the rest of the inventory, counting the fabrics, and making as many deals as I could with other shops and buyout people. And I thought that I would have been done by that Saturday, the 28th. I don't know what day that was, but I wasn't. I actually then had to go back in that following Monday, which was fine. It's okay. And then me and the owner and her husband walked out together, with a fully emptied vacuum, shop, turned in our keys. So it's emotional for the relationship that I had with my boss, right? And it's emotional for the relationship I had with my coworkers who I don't want to say abandoned me, but I knew their life. I knew that they had other things going on as well. They had, and they knew that we were closing by March. And so they had already planned their lives for that. And I needed them through March, but that's okay. I'll admit, business-wise, not me-wise, business-wise, I did purchase half our fixtures. I also went home with 1,000 yards of fabric, a color wall, because I've always enjoyed the color wall, and I got to pick and choose my own for that. And so, I do have currently a whole storage full of certain select handpicked things that I specifically want so that in the future I could have a shop. Um, I got I got a industrial. Ooh, I don't want to say a big one, not like cotton cuts, but I got like a shop industrial quilt cutter with like different dyes. They're not the little green and gray dyes. They're black and brown dyes, and they're larger. And I think you can do more layers and stuff with them. And it takes up a whole 4-foot table. So that's currently taking residence in my living room. Um, so yeah, it's just, so coming on with Lisa and Deb that Thursday, right? It was just whoo. I'm currently taking night classes for entrepreneurship. And Tuesday's class, right? She's checking in with everybody. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's like, fine, great, fine, great. And she looked at me and I was honest. I said, I'm exhausted. She's like, that felt real. It was. I was exhausted. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't, it's just sometimes it's just, yeah. So the whole, emotional shopping, retail therapy thing. Let's see. I totally started rambling and backed up on comments here. Let's see. Kathy says you will get back to work when it's right. Trust your higher power. You got it. Exactly. I'm not going to force anything. I'm going to take definitely this week because of spring break. And then I'm taking next week just so I looked at the calendar. I got 4 appointments, one each day, Monday through Thursday. So no, I'm not in any rush. Sheila says maybe wait until he goes back to school. Awkward Quilter says, so the emotional shopping helped you at a time you needed it. It did not put you in debt. And if it was the release you needed to keep you sane, then more power to you. Opportunities are around the corner. Correct. And it's for a hobby that I love and enjoy and surrounds me. And this is my happy place, right? Our sewing rooms, well, I'm hoping is everybody's happy place. Let's see. Melissa says 1,000 yards of fabric. I'm coming over. It's not here. It's in large black construction bags. That I needed the heavy duty ones and I needed to tie them off and they're up in storage. Yeah, you wouldn't believe my mama bought all the batiks. My mom bought oh let's say 250 yards of batiks. She bought those out. I bought a hand-picked color wall. I got one quilt shop. Thank you, Kathy. She's saying this is a tough season for you, and I'm glad you have a channel. I'm glad I have you guys. I don't know if necessarily being completely public and open to the internet is what I need, but I'm glad that I have my supporters and my little, internet family here. And I know originally my channel was not a vlog style like this, but it's all I can offer right now. But I keep seeing them hit my shoulder. So today's earrings. Let's see if I can get these shown. Today's earrings are freestanding lace done on the embroidery machine with a wash away stabilizer by a past coworker. And they are so fun and so fantastic. And if you have an embroidery machine and you ever want to get into freestanding lace, by all means, I love the earrings. They're great. And if you're an earring maker and you would like to gift me a pair, and I will totally share them and give you a review. I absolutely adore earrings. Let's see. Melissa says quilting party at the storage facility. Yes, ma'am. I'm really hoping I have a plan in my head to gut out the shed, get it finished, insulated and AC'd and all of that, and then bring what I can home to my shed in my backyard and turn it into a starter online shop with small curated kits and bundles and specialty cut things. And then when the money is saved for the retail shop, go ahead and then open a brick and mortar with online availability. So it's all there in my head. It's just nothing's concrete. And Rip It and Sew says, Amen, ditto. She says, I've made some similar by hand. Yes. I don't know if you saw the other two lives that I did, Mona. Um, Last month I wore a pair that Zaza did on her 3D printer. They were quilt block earrings. And the month before I did my beaded earrings from Sheila. And so I do. I enjoy earrings. But y'all, we lasted like 51 minutes here of me rambling. I can't thank you guys enough for joining me and for supporting me and for listening to my topic of the day. And I changed the title of this live because originally I wrote unintentional and mindless. And no, not really. That's not how I really feel. Did I break my goals of being mindful and intentional? Yes. And that's okay. But to be honest and confront the retail therapy, the emotional shopping, and turning it, into content, into something like this, then maybe there's others out there. Maybe there's some that feel they're alone, or maybe there's quilters of any gender, of any race, of any, however you are in your life. If this resonates with you, or if you didn't realize that there were others, please, please, please join in with us. Go ahead and follow along, because like mentioned earlier, I'm very transparent and real, and you never know what you're gonna get. You probably will always get me dressed, from here up. You will always, I do come prepared in that way, but in my videos, yeah, I'll be in my PJs. Yeah, you'll only see my hands. But and Jim is saying, don't forget the thumbs up, folks. Yes, of course. A like, a comment, a subscribe is always appreciated. But if y'all have hung with me this long, don't go yet. Okay. So it's been bouncing somewhere between 12 and 16 of you. And so in my excitement of finding the BQ patterns, right? And I totally grabbed them. Turns out I had one already, but it's going to end up being, I have it hanging over there so I can remember. It's the BQ4. I now own 2. And so what that means is one of you will get it. I will happily ship to the continent, to the USA. Shipping overseas, I don't know. I guess even an envelope like this wouldn't be too bad. So can't enter in the live chat because it disappears for me. So what I am asking is, after the chat has ended and after that live option goes away, go ahead and find the video. It might even just be tomorrow. I don't know how long that actually takes. Today's Thursday. This will run through, let's say, Sunday morning. When I wake up, I will pull a winner. So in the comments of the video, go ahead and I don't want to say, don't use the word giveaway, because that triggers all kinds of spams. What should we say to put in there? Go ahead and just put the title in a sentence of some form. BQ4. So write out a comment with a sentence or some phrase, and make sure you have BQ4 in it to be entered to win the pattern that I now have 2 of. Because how often does that happen, you guys? When emotionally shopping, we end up with seconds, don't we? Alrighty. Kathy says, I like the subject matter and you are a breath of fresh air. PJs are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Melissa says, I think we all really appreciate your honesty. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sherry Wiggins says, pass it forward. Oh, Burger Queen Fort. Look at that. See, that's creative. So, not here in the live comments, y'all. Not here in the live comments. Wait till I end. Wait till that live commenting disappears, and then go to the video itself and comment. And Sunday morning when I wake up, I'll draw a winner. Okay, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I love BBQ for sure. Oh, see, that's a very creative way of doing it. As long as it has a spicy vinegar sauce, Lisa. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you next time. First Thursday of every month at 1 p.m. And then hopefully I'll get some videos back up because I'm home now. Bye, you guys.